If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's screwed.
Well, a sense of overriding futility is a vital part of the process. Embrace it.
Whatever you say, Doc.
I think we're all expecting Michael DeSanta from GTA 5 Story Mode to arrive at online. I have a good idea of when he's coming back, likely at the end of this year or shortly before GTA 6's release, but likely at the end of 2024 so Rockstar can spend all of 2025 up until release to put the finishing touches on 6, unless the game gets delayed, which is a whole other story. Either way, he will be in the game's final DLC. This video is about why Michael is coming back, and maybe, along the way, you can figure out what kind of work we will be doing for Michael DeSanta. We learn in the contract DLC from Franklin that Michael is a producer in a movie studio. What movie studio, you may ask? The movie studio. The one movie studio. Seriously, there's only one movie studio in the game. Anyway, in the brand new Bottom Dollar Bounty DLC, there is a Most Wanted bounty where we have to capture a movie star known as Cleo Song. What does Cleo Song have to do with Michael? Absolutely nothing, except for the fact that we have to capture her from the movie studio that Michael works at. No biggie. In all seriousness, Michael could track us down and we end up working for him to make up for lighting up his studio. This is similar to what happens to Michael in story mode, a poetic role reversal. We could get a cutscene where Michael witnesses the attack and from there he's dead set on finding out who shot up his movie studio. Alternatively, what may happen is Solomon Richards, knowing Michael's history, sends him after the player instead of Michael going on his own will. It's possible that Solomon was, how do I put this, close to Leo Song, if you know what I mean. You also steal one of Solomon's cars from a cargo ship during a salvage yard robbery, so that could give him another reason to go after you. You might not even work for or with Michael, you could become enemies with him, and in the end, you make peace after proving that you're better at running prostitutes than him. Okay, I admit that sounds kind of cheesy. Moving on. Newsflash! Jimmy DeSanta is a pothead, and it's possible that he gets himself into trouble with or ends up in a gang. They wouldn't have to be directly linked to his weed addiction. It could be a father-like-son situation. You get Jimmy out of this and Michael forgives you, just not Solomon, so it would have to be Michael going after you on his own will. Lester could play into this by stopping Michael from giving a hot pull but with a gun in right between your eyes. After a cutscene where Michael leads the player into a trap and tries to clip you, the player would contact Lester, tell him about the situation, and Lester would contact Michael to vouch for you, giving you a chance to redeem yourself in his eyes. He would then tell you about Jimmy's situation and you would get him out of trouble. It will provide Rockstar with an opportunity to give Jimmy a Red Dead redemption. Of course, that would be another case of Rockstar adding more Red Dead content to GTA Online instead of Red Dead Online, but I digress. What about businesses, heists, or even other storyline ideas? Well, here's the deal. I've got a bunch, so listen in. Number 1, movie studio. Rockstar could do a lot with a movie studio property, from legal to illegal. Number 2, pimping. Pretty self-explanatory. I couldn't explain without getting demonetized. Number 3, dock business. This would function similar to the warehouse and hangar, but with boats, and it would have to be way more than just another cargo business, since it would likely be the final DLC. Maybe some on or near the water heists. That doesn't mean don't make it a cargo business. Combine the cargo business with heists. Number 4, $25,000 heists. These are basically mini heists, smaller than that of the auto shop and salvage yard robberies. These would be heists with no setups. As a result, they would pay, you guessed it, $25,000. This could also be done as revamped free roam heists. In this revamp, the player would have to escape the cops or they would lose the money. The convenience stores would also pay more. Maybe the player could go into any of the Fleeca banks and if they have the right equipment, rob them. The same could be done to the many jewelry stores around the map. It would probably be best if these were done in the mission style of the salvage yard, since the salvage yard doesn't put you into a contact mission, so it's more seamless. These shouldn't rotate like the salvage yard robberies, however. Alright, so that does it for this first scripted video that I've ever done. My next scripted video is probably going to be on Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, because that game was a travesty. Then I'm probably going to do a video about maybe Helldivers. I could also pop back in and do another Yandere Dev video. You guys really like those videos. I wonder why. I'd also like to do more Bloxburg skit things, like, you know, that horror video that I made. That one did really good. And more gameplays if you guys want to see them, even though I'm terrible at gameplays. And also, I have a Discord server and merch and a Patreon in the description below, so go support me there. Check out the rest of my videos. I got all kinds of content on here, bud.